Hi, welcome to King County at your service. I'm Jackie Ablao. Coordinating resources during a pandemic has not been easy, but the King County Office of Emergency Management is like conducting an orchestra, directing the work of many musicians.
I look at emergency management in the same sense that a conductor conducts an orchestra. The individual players in the orchestra are all virtuosos in their own right.
Law enforcement has their role, fire has their role, transportation, public health.
And if they play separately, you would end up with noise if you didn't have that conductor there twirling the baton. We do the same thing in emergency management, and our responsibility is to coordinate them so that we have a single effort going toward whatever the operation is.
When it comes to an event like COVID, where it's new, there's a lot of unknowns, there's just a lot of things that don't exist yet. And our job is to figure out that which is unknown.
This work is a chance for us to stop what is the largest crisis in many ways in our country since the 1918 pandemic. And the consequences from this economically are beyond what we can imagine if we fail to stop the spread. But if we're able to protect people in our society that are out there and do have to work, allow others to come back to work, I think that's our best chance.
In emergency management, people come from all different walks of life. They get into it for different reasons, but they stay in it because of that gratification that we get from helping people.
We're here for a reason, a shared goal, and it's to help the people out there, to make sure that they can get back to their normalcy.
It's graduation season, but the pandemic has been limiting in-person celebrations. Check out what's happening in Highline School District. I promise you'll be doing some high fives.
Welcome to episode 8 of Staying Home with Dobby. My name is Dave Upthegrove, King County Councilmember from South King County. Dobby is an indoor cat, and a lot of us right now are staying indoors like Dobby to prevent the spread of the virus. This means, unfortunately, that for a lot of graduating high school seniors, they're not able to gather physically for high school graduation. And here with us today to share some of the things that school districts are doing to adapt to this pandemic is the Superintendent of the Highline School District, Dr. Susan Enfield. Welcome, Susan.
When the virus hit and we had to close our school buildings and begin remote learning, obviously a big question was around how we were going to make sure that our seniors still graduated. I heard from a colleague of mine actually in Iowa who said, we're going to do this drive-up graduation. I said, well, that sounds really interesting. So pitched the idea to our team in Highline, and because they're amazing, they came up with a plan that kept our students, staff, and families safe. Everyone wore masks. We social distanced to the degree possible. But, I felt strongly that we needed to give our kids and families their moment. That's what they wanted. They wanted their moment. And in Highline in particular, for so many of our graduates, they're the first in their family to graduate. So this isn't just about giving our kids their moment, it's about giving families that moment too. And so 22 hours later, 11 ceremonies later, 1,400 plus graduates later, we have completed our first drive-through graduation, which is far less tacky than it sounds. It was actually incredibly celebratory and joyous, and we've actually heard from staff and students and families they like it better than a traditional graduation ceremony. So I think there are components that we might want to incorporate moving forward, even when we are allowed to have large gatherings again. So I would say that all in all, it was a huge success.
Thank you, Dr. Enfield, for your time today and for everything you do for the students in the Highline School District. And to everyone, although we're beginning to reopen, it's more important than ever to continue to use good hygiene, wash your hands, wear your masks, limit your trips out, stay healthy, and stay safe.
Wondering what you can do to help during these uncertain times? Well, Councilmember Kathy Lambert tells us about a one-stop shop for the Snoqualmie Valley.
We'd like to welcome you to our interview today. And as you know, we've been dealing with a lot of things during this pandemic. And one of the highlights of people serving other people is I Love Snoqualmie Valley. Emily is one of the people who has been instrumental in many things in the Valley. So Emily, welcome. And thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Love Snoqualmie Valley's mission is really simple. We exist to unite our community. And when the pandemic broke out, we knew right away that there would be challenges in bringing our resources together. And we thought that we could be a bridge to help our community speak to one another, to bring our resources together, to ensure that our efforts were going as far and as deep as they could, as effectively as possible. In the past, Love Snoqualmie Valley has really focused on a one-day event for the full community to come out and volunteer together, because we believe that serving side by side builds community, and it's a neutral convener for our community to come together. Our goal is to bring all of our sectors together. So we're not about churches, we're not about nonprofits, we're about all of us. And so when COVID-19 began, we saw an opportunity to take the trust that had been built as a neutral convener and bring our voices and bring our resources together. So in a very fast and short amount of time, our website developed into a community-wide platform for giving help, getting help, and having our human services resources put together in one place. I want to say that we have probably close to 25 entries right now of nonprofits that have ways that you can support them today. And some of them are as specific as key volunteers in our food banks, those who feel able and safe to go help in those essential services. We have opportunities, lots of opportunities to give, of course. And we're trying really hard to be specific about that because we know there are many financial needs. So when you come to our site, we're working really hard to keep that updated with when you give to the senior center right now, you're helping provide hot meals and you're helping ensure that those volunteers can continue making calls to check on our seniors. The Snoqualmie Valley is insanely generous. And the people of our community want to be a part of something bigger and they want to make a difference.
What would be the best way for others to get involved?
Yeah, I would say reach out via lovesnoqualmievalley.com, our website. We're pretty active on our social media, so Facebook and Instagram. So if people want to give to lovesnoqualmievalley.com, we're humbled by that, and we feel able to steward those funds to meet those critical needs.
I know that you have been an excellent steward, and that's why people have come to trust that this group is really doing what needs to be done with the Valley and the people in mind. And I am always pleased when I'm in the Valley to see the smiles and people looking to see what can we do to help one another. So we'd like to thank you for your leadership, for spreading the magic of love throughout the entire Valley.
Truly, thank you for this opportunity. I'm very thankful.
And thank you for joining us today.
Robin, good day, and thank you for all you do for South King County. Can you share a little bit about the changing clients in the years since you first began working at the Multi-Service Center and the clients of today?
Sure. So when I first began working at the Multi-Service Center, we had a diverse customer base, but that has just exploded over the past several years. And as you know, some of our school districts in South King County, people speak hundreds of languages. So that's been a big change. I think the other change that I noticed, particularly around the last recession that we had, was we were seeing more people coming to us that hadn't needed our services before, people that were laid off, and seeing more seniors in need. Oftentimes seniors who either where, they invested in their retirement plans, and then those retirement plans started not doing so well, and they were having to return to a workforce that they weren't quite prepared for. But also an increase in homelessness among seniors and homelessness among our young people as well. Shortly before the pandemic hit, we were operating with a grocery store model where people could come in and shop just like they were at a store. And very early on, when we found out about the pandemic and the challenges, we were able to make a transition to how we provide services. So, for example, we, instead of having a grocery store model, we now offer food boxes. And we are able to have people come through the breezeway that is there in the back and pick up boxes and do it swiftly enough that they're still allowing for social distancing and social distancing guidelines. And we've had a lot of things in place too, where we've had plexiglass shields, we've had other types of shields, we have people wearing masks. The nice thing I will say is that we actually have had a lot of positive feedback from our customers. And they've said that, things are moving very quickly. They feel safe coming in to the food bank. And they've also still been allowed to have some choice. We do have volunteers that will allow some choice in the boxes that they get.
Are you able to communicate with the varying changes that are coming now into South King County?
We have our materials translated into different languages, and we continue to translate them into more and more languages. But we try to make sure that all of our marketing materials, all of our instruction materials are in a variety of languages. But we also do have interpreters that we can use when we need to. I will say a lot of the people that come to the food bank are longtime, some of them are longtime customers, and so they kind of know the drill a little bit.
Since the pandemic hit, what's the increase in numbers of people? Do you have a percentage increase of clients now that you didn't have before?
The last time we checked, it was 11% increase, but I believe that that's continuing to rise. And about 22% of the people that we served just last month were people that had never needed services from us before. I think that, when people come to us for services, especially when they come for the first time, it can be really overwhelming and intimidating. And we try to make that process as seamless and as welcoming as possible. We've had people that have lost their jobs due to layoffs, but also people that have lost their jobs because they're in a high-risk category and they can't do the work that they were doing. And they've come in for the food bank, through energy assistance, through rent assistance, and we've had so many people tell us that they were just so thankful to be able to come someplace where they didn't feel ashamed to be here, and where they were able to get the help that they needed to keep them financially stable until they could get back on track.
Well, keep us posted on how we can help. Again, I think the fact that you have been with the agency for as long as you have in so many capacities, you really understand South King County and the need. And quite frankly, we both know the need is not going to decrease. It's probably going to increase through the rest of this year and then some. Again, continue making lemonade out of lemons and continue being the person you are. And thank you for all you do for others.
Well, thank you as well for all that you do.
Thanks for joining us for King County at your service. I'm Jackie Ablao. Visit us online at kingcounty.gov/KCTV. See you next time.